All right, so it's the rookie car hauler back out here, and I'm back at the yard now. I had to catch an Uber over here to get back to the yard. So in this video, I just dropped the truck off. As you can see, the truck and trailer is disconnected right behind me. I had to disconnect and go take it to the shop, back to the shop that it was at before, to get some work done that was supposed to be done already. That they Miles repair shop, you know, they ain't know what they was doing over there, man. I don't even know why Asmar chose to go there, because they don't even look, the shop don't even look like no real shop to me. So, you know what I'm saying? Everything about it to me said don't go there, but that's where he took it before, so we had to take it back there to get the repairs done again. So I didn't like the logo. I ain't like nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? So the logo threw me off from the rip, because it wasn't a real, you know, it wasn't a, to me, it didn't say that I'm a diesel mechanic. The logo didn't say diesel mechanic. The logo said, you know, we some boys over here, we don't know what the hell we doing. That's what the logo said, and that's exactly what their work showed too. The work they did on his truck, that's what it showed me. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully they finish the repairs or whatever. But this video is not about Miles Repair Shop, Diesel Mechanic Shop, or whatever it's called. This video is about, I wanted to make a video about, well, I kind of messed it up now because I started off with that. So, dang, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to finish doing the regular video that I meant to do. But the video was really about the difference between working for an owner-operator and working for a big company. That's what I wanted to make the video about. So I often have this on my mind. You know, I often, you know, talk about this to myself and to other people, but I've never really made a video about it. But that's what the video was about. You know what I'm saying? What is it? What's the better option for you? To work for a big company like United Road or Hanson and Atkins, or even Carvana or Vroom, or one of those companies. Even though Carvana and Vroom are newer companies as far as new to car hauling, so they got a lot of new car haul stuff going on over there. They drivers don't even load the trucks. From what I've seen, they have loaders that's all they do is load. They don't drive, they just load. And then the drivers, all they do is drive. They just once they get there, the loaders come out and unload the truck for them. That's what Carvana do. CarMax, I think they do the same thing. I'm not 100% sure on that. But so again, is it better to work for an owner operator, or is it better to work for a big company? And what are some of the differences? Okay. Now, in my honest opinion, and I've done both, so I'm very, very qualified, I think, to answer this question, because I work for a big company and I work for plenty of owner-operators. I work for more owner-operators than I work for big companies, right? But it's kind of, you know, it's kind of preference-driven. It's like it depends on your preference. Like, I really wouldn't say, to answer the question, I really can't say one way or the other. You know, I really can't say one way or the other, because there's pros and cons to both. There's pros of working for a private owner or owner operator, and there's cons for working with an owner operator, and there's pros for working with a big company and cons for working with a big company. So it's kind of like, in all honesty, if I had to give my 100% honest opinion about the whole situation, I would tell you, really and truly, it's up to your preference. I can't say one way or the other. I can't say 100% that being with an owner-operator is the best way to go, or 100% that being with a big company like United Road or Hanson and Atkins is the best way to go. I wouldn't feel comfortable making either one of those statements at this point in my life. I wouldn't feel comfortable. It depends on who you are and how you operate. The way I am and the way I operate, I'm probably better off with an owner-operator. You know, the way I like to move, I'm probably better off with an owner-operator. I feel like you have more freedom with an owner-operator. You have more freedom. Like when you with a big company, you locked in. You know, you have most of the time you have a set schedule. especially if you were somebody like Carvana or CarMax or something like that. But if you were United Road, they're gonna have you over the road. You know, most United Road guys are over the road. They got some day work. They got some day cabs with some day you home daily, but those trucks don't make as much money because they're doing a lot of local stuff. And with the local stuff, you at more risk of more damages with the local stuff because you touching the vehicles more often. You picking up, dropping off, picking up, dropping off, picking up, dropping off, type of thing more often, opposed to you over the road. You pick up one time. You might pick up once a week and drop once a week when you over the road. You know, you might pick up some BMWs in Greer and go to Colorado. It take you how many ever days to get to Colorado, and then you drop one time in Colorado. That might be your whole week. Your whole week might be done. Then you pick something up in Alabama or whatever, or wherever, you know, wherever you can, they get you some stuff, some freight to pick up, and you drive it all the way back down to South Carolina. So you might pick up and drop off, like you might pick up once a week and drop off once a week when you're over the road. And that's whether you with a big company or a smaller company. Another one of the pros, I would say that I talk about some of the pros of being with a private owner is that, like I said, you have more freedom, more leniency. It's not like a real big issue as far as taking off days. If you need to take a day off or something like that, you might be able to get the owner of the company to cover for you. Or if you have a backup driver, you know, he can get somebody to cover for you, something like that. In most cases, owner operators have their CDLs and they're very acquainted with the truck, and they probably was driving the truck prior to you driving it. So they can probably get in the truck and cover for you for a day or so. It's not like the end of the world. When you with the big companies, you have to put in a request for a time off. You got to do it like in advance, 2 weeks in advance or a week in advance or something like that. You may get it, you may not get it. They may want you to wait your 90 days first. You may have to wait for 90 days before you can even request a day off with a big company. So let me see what else. Also, with the smaller companies or private owner, most owner operators will pay you a little bit more than the big company will pay you. A big company is very budget driven. Everything is based on budget. They want to make sure that they get the most out of the driver for the least amount of money. And that seems to be the norm. Okay, so the normal rate for the big car haul companies is 25%. So United Road pay 25%. Hanson and Atkins probably pay 25%. I'm not 100% sure. Carvana probably pay, you know, they don't even probably pay percentage. I think they pay just I don't know what they pay, but they don't make a lot of money at Carvana as far as the drivers, as far as their weekly pay or every 2 weeks if they get paid. I'm not sure. They don't make a lot of money there, but I heard they have some good benefits, which we'll talk about and as well as far as the pros for the big companies. So those are some of the pros for the smaller companies, you know, like West Carriers, where I'm at now, is that, like I said, you have more freedom, I would say. They don't bother you as much. So when you're on the road, they really don't bother you. Most owners, operators are not going to babysit you at all, you know, whatsoever. No one's going to bother you. You're only dealing with one person. So one of the things with working for an owner operator that can be a pro or a con is that they're the owner of the company. They are HR. So if you need to call HR, you call in the same person, HR. They do payroll. They do any type of consultation you need. Everything is going to go through the same person. They the mechanic sometimes, which I've come to find out in recent time that Asmar is actually a side mechanic as well. You know what I'm saying? He turned me into a diesel mechanic too over the past 2 weeks or so. So you're dealing with the same person for everything. That can be a pro and it can be a con. It can be a pro. It depends on who the person is. It can be a pro and it can be a con. Okay. So I'm gonna just name 4 of them. Like I said, you got a little more freedom, more flexibility. It's more flexible when you with an owner operator. So depending on your lifestyle, if you're looking for flexibility, working for an owner operator is going to get you the flexibility that you need or that you're looking for more than likely, because they tend to be more flexible. You know, you can work things out with them. Hey man, listen, next week I need off for such and such, and you can plan ahead, and then they'll come in and cover for you type of thing, or get another driver, or you just won't take the load out that day. Anyway, so the cons of being with an owner operator is the fact that it's just most of the time owner operators only have 1 or 2 trucks, maybe 3 trucks, sometimes a little bit more depending on how big they are. Okay, but if you're just dealing with an owner operator that only has 1 truck or 2 trucks, if the truck break down, this is what you deal with. You got to drop the trailer and then go take the truck somewhere or get it towed or whatever the case may be. And then you might be out of work for a week. You might be out of work for, I set for a whole month. Recently, I set for a month, and I wasn't bothered by it because it was Ramadan, like I said before, and I really I needed to sit and benefit with my family during the month of Ramadan. So it was a benefit in a way for me, but at the same time, I wasn't making much money at the time. You know, I was still getting paid. As a matter of fact, Asmar paid me very, very well. During that 30 days, I was getting paid $1,000 a week just to sit. So he paid me $1,000 a week, but that wasn't the breakdown pay. That wasn't the breakdown pay. He actually made a mistake and overpaid me. And when he overpaid me, when he found out he was overpaying me, because he had some stuff going on, and he was kind of confused about it. He texted me. He's like, I've been overpaying you. He's like, you know what? He's like, I overpaid you or whatever, but don't worry about it. We'll work it out later. But like I said, I know this guy. I've been knowing Asmar for over 15 years now since I've been driving. I've known him ever since I've been driving. So, he good money, all day long. Asmar overpay you. He's known for, he'll overpay you and tell you don't worry about it in a heartbeat. So I already knew that about him. That's one of the reasons why I like him, because when it comes to money, he's not a petty individual at all. Not at all. And when he eat, you eat. That's just how he operates. So that's another pro for working with an owner operator. When an owner operator make a lot of money, or when the company basically grow or make more money, a lot of times, depending on how your relationship is with the owner operator, and in most cases, you should have a good relationship because it's just you and him, and he's counting on you to help him build his company up or whatever. Because, you're the only driver. You might be the only driver he has, or he might have two drivers, but you might be the more reliable driver, right? So normally when he get a good lick or whatever, or he get like a come up, as they say, you're going to come up too. A lot of times he's going to take care of his driver, depending on who the owner operator is. But most owner operators will take care of their drivers. Okay, very, very well. When they get a good lick or some good runs, they'll make sure that they cut you in. Basically, they'll share the profits with you. So they'll share as an owner operator. Owner operators are more subject to sharing profits with you. Okay, so you make more money with an owner operator in most cases. Okay, I know a lot of owner operators pay 30% instead of 25%. So that's a big difference. It don't seem like much. It's only 5% more, but it's a big difference. And then you 1099 also with an owner operator, so you get all of your money, which can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. It can hurt you in the long run if you don't keep track of your income and make sure you got a good tax person and you pay your taxes and things of that nature. It can hurt you in the long run. Okay, so that's another pro. It could be a pro or a con. So let's talk about some of the pros and cons with the big company. Okay, the number one pro with the big company, i.e. United Road, Hanson and Atkins, Vroom, Carvana, CarMax, is health insurance. That's the number one benefit to working with these big companies, is many of them have decent health insurance plans. When I was at United Road, I went to the doctors. I had no problem going to the doctors. I don't even think I had a copay. So their health insurance was pretty good. It was pretty good. It was okay. Dental, I'm not really sure. I got a free pair of glasses when I was with United Road. So you have health insurance, and my family, I had my kids on my plan, my wife on my plan. So that was good. My daughter got like a free pair of glasses or whatever. So it was good with that. That was pretty decent. The health insurance plan was pretty decent. Another one of the pros is that if you break down, like in this situation here, even though most big companies have multiple trucks, they're going to have maybe 25 trucks, 30 trucks, 50 trucks, 100 trucks. United Road probably got, I don't know how many trucks United Road has. 500 trucks, who knows? They got a lot of trucks over there. So if you break down 9 times out of 10 with a big company, they're going to put you in a replacement truck the same day. Okay, it might be a raggedy truck. It might not be as nice as yours was because you've been in your truck and cleaning it up, taking care of it. The loaner truck might be like the last loaner that they have, or one of the few that they have. When I broke down at United Road, they put me in another truck pretty much immediately, but it wasn't like my truck because it was sitting for a while. All the rest of the loaners was already out because they had other trucks that broke down around that same time. So the ball kept rolling. They're not gonna let you, big company not gonna let you sit for a whole month. If the truck is in the shop, you're gonna be in another truck one way or another, and you're gonna be back rolling again, making some money. Let me see, another one of the pros working with a big company is equipment, is extra equipment like straps and, you know, height sticks, load bars, you know, your load bar for to strap your load down. They got that stuff in abundance. So you'll never have to worry about a strap. You'll never have to worry about a load bar. You'll never have to worry about, you know, no material type stuff. Height sticks, brand new. All that stuff is brand new when you work for big companies, right? You don't really need that stuff to be brand new. It's the same thing with an owner operator like West Carrier. Same thing. I got plenty of straps. Asmar always, you know, buy a box of straps, and I replace some of the straps on here. But with him, obviously he can feel the cost, and, you know, he may mention it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I had to buy another box of straps because you tearing the straps up type of thing. He might mention it if you tearing the straps up. My straps get normal wear and tear as far as I'm the rookie. I'm the rookie car hauler, so I feel like I could tear stuff up anyway like that, but it's all good, you know what I'm saying? But we just replaced a few straps on here. So anyway, another thing, the big companies, all that stuff is in abundance. Antifreeze, oil, anything you need for the truck with a big company, it's not even with the blink of an eye, you get it. It's not an issue at all. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You just go get it out the shop and you put it in your truck. Simple as that. It's no, you know, no one cares. You just go get stuff in abundance. If you blow a tire, any type of mechanical issues that happens to you with a big company, normally your repairs are done very, very fast. You can call Roadside Assistance very, very fast because that's connected with the company. They have a number that they give you. They tell you, listen, if something happened while you're on the road, call Roadside Assistance. So the Roadside Assistance will show up. You know, I'm not gonna say they show up fast because you'd be out on the side of the road for a while waiting for them to come. A lot of time, no matter how big the company is you work for, Roadside gonna get to you when they can get to you, right? So you might be out there for 9 hours waiting for Roadside before we United Road. You know what I'm saying? So, but when they come, no one's worried about the bill. You don't have to worry about the bill. You know, Asmar wouldn't have to worry about the bill because obviously, you know, it would be with a big company. So they deal with all that stuff. They have an account with half of these people already. So they got an account with Love's, Pilot. They got all kind of accounts all over the country. So Roadside Assistance is not an issue. You just call them out and they come out and fix the tire and put you back on the road, or they come out and do whatever repairs is needed that they can do if they can do something, and they put you back on the road. So as far as repairs go, and also with big companies, 9 times out of 10, they're going to have their own mechanic on site on the yard. So if you have a terminal, wherever your terminal is, more than likely, that's the place you would go. That's like your starting point, your terminal. They would always have, you know, a mechanic on site, multiple mechanics. So you might have 5, 6, 7, 8 mechanics on at the terminal. So once you get back to the yard and you park your truck up and take your 34-hour break or whatever the case may be, or whatever you're doing, getting reloaded or whatever, you got mechanics on deck all day, you know, that you can call 24. You basically can call these mechanics at any time, basically, for the most part, right? What else? Another pro would be, let me see, steady work. I would say steady work was another pro. Working for United Road, you know, Carvana, CarMax, Hanson and Atkins, is that it's constant work. Sometimes they have slow periods as well, like anybody else. The industry slows down as a whole sometimes in car hauling and any trucking industry. For the most part, you have areas where it might get a little bit slower than other times. But infrastructure is probably one of the only things that don't really slow down like that. When you're talking about highways, building highways and stuff like that, that type of infrastructure work, it's constantly rolling year round, I believe, year round, putting up them soundproof walls and stuff like that. That stuff runs year round. So it doesn't really matter. Rain, sleet, or snow. It might slow down in the wintertime, though, a little bit. But anyway, so you have steady work with the bigger companies opposed to owner operator that has to go on the load board and find you work or whatever the case may be, or lease on somebody, whatever. You find you got steady work with the big companies. United Road, they right across the street from the BMW plant. The terminal in Greer is right across the street from the BMW plant. So you leave from your terminal, go across the street, and you got a million BMWs over there brand new, and they keep pushing them out every day. They're manufacturing the cars right there, pushing them out, and they bringing stuff in from the train. I don't know if they bring some in on train or whatever, pushing them out. That's another pro. What else? Other pros you got? Free dispatch, I guess you could say that, or whatever. I don't know. You can talk to the dispatcher and tell her where you want to go. That's another pro too. You can actually tell your dispatcher where you want to go, or she'll give you, he or she'll give you some options. Say you can go to Chicago, or you can go to Tennessee, you can go to California, Arizona, or you can go to Colorado, what you want to do. And then you tell them, well, I feel like going to Colorado. I like that Colorado route. Let me go ahead and go to Colorado. And they'll put you down on the Colorado load. So that kind of helps sometimes. Another pro for working for a big company is they'll give you, on a fuel card, you can get cash advances off the fuel card. If you need to, you can get cash advances. You might burn your whole checkup like that if you do that. But you can get cash advances on a fuel card, and you can purchase oil. And with most of those fuel cards, you can purchase oil and antifreeze and gloves. Sometimes if you need gloves, I purchased gloves with a company fuel card, big company fuel card. You can buy gloves that you need for your hands, or if you need some type of some straps from the store. Most of the time you can get different things. The card is kind of open to certain things. Okay, you probably can't buy snacks and stuff with it, but you can get things that for the truck. The computer knows what's truck related and what's not, and I guess they got some type of way they can open it up for that. But with the smaller companies like owner operator, 9 times out of 10, you're just gonna have a fuel card just to buy fuel. That's it. You won't be able to buy antifreeze, oil, none of that. You have to buy that stuff out of pocket, and then you have to save the receipt and turn it into your boss, whoever the owner is of the truck, and then get compensated that way. What else? Another pro working with a big company is that I don't know. I mean, you got a lot of people around you. Like, you got a lot of veterans around you. In most cases, like United Road, Hanson and Atkins, you'll have a lot of guys that's 21-year veterans that you see every time you at the terminal. You'll see a lot of guys that you can get their phone numbers and talk to them about different highways and byways, and all of them guys been all over the place, so they can tell you when you're on this highway, watch out for these low bridges, or which way to go to get into different places and stuff like that. That helps out a lot. Having someone to talk to that's been where you going helps out a lot. And sometimes with owner operators, they might know where you at and where you going and be able to guide you in there, and they might not. They might say, I've never been there before, I haven't been there in a while, something like that. So some of the cons of working for a big company is the restriction as far as the flexibility. It's not a lot of flexibility when you work for big companies. They counting on you to be there every day. Like I said, if something come up, it's going to be an issue. A lot of times, what I experienced with United Road is they didn't want to let me go home. And maybe that was just my personal experience. I can't judge them based off of I can't judge the whole company based off of what I went through. But when I was with United Road, I had an issue with the operations manager because he didn't want to let me go home. You know what I'm saying? He had an issue with me going home. I'm like, look, bro, I've been out here already I burnt my 70 out already. You know what I'm saying? Like, I burnt my time out already. It's time for me to take a 34. I've been out there for a while, and I was like going to Colorado back and forth, breaking down all kind of stuff. I said, I'm ready to take a break, man. And he was like, well, is your 34? Are you ready for your 34? And I told him, I said, somehow, some way, I had already I think I had skipped my 30. I did my 34 on the road. I think I did my 34 on the road at one point or something. I forgot how it went down, but whatever it was, a 34-hour break and home time is 2 different things, just so you guys know, okay? Don't get it confused. A 34 is a 34. You have to take a mandatory 34-hour break, okay? After you burn your clock out, after you burn your 70 out or what have you, you have to take a mandatory 34-hour break, okay? It doesn't matter if you're on the road. It doesn't matter if you in your hometown at your home terminal, or if you're in the middle of Bumbleville somewhere. It doesn't matter. That is not the same as home time. A 34-hour break is not the same as home time. Home time is home time. It's something totally different than a 34-hour break. So in other words, once you take your 34-hour break, if you take your 34-hour break in Arizona, and then once you make it back to the terminal, your main terminal somewhere, and you say, listen, I'm tired, I'm ready to go home for a little while, I need some home time, they can't turn around and say, oh, well, you took your 34-hour break already. But you find some people that will come at you like that. And those are the ones that are normally buttholes, in my opinion, because that's really a butthole move for you to make your driver stay on the road when he hasn't had any home time in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and you telling him, oh, you got to wait for your 34 to come up again. And he did his 34 on the road. Now he's back at the terminal. He's burnt out. He done broke down 2-3 times, whatever the case, whatever the situation was. He might have been through a lot. We go through a lot out here sometimes as drivers, you know, especially as car haulers, because you in and out the truck. You're not just in the truck driving. You in the truck, you out the truck, in the truck, out the truck. So if he's been through a lot, and then by the time he make it back to the yard, it's almost time for him to take another 34. He might have like maybe, let's say he got 30 hours left on his clock, but he done did a 34 already. So now he did 30. He done did his 70. He did a 34, then he did another 40 hours or so trying to make it back to the terminal. Now he's telling you he wants to stop home and stay home for a couple days, maybe 2 or 3 days, and you giving him an issue about that. 9 times out of 10, if he's OTR, he's not going to want to stay with you, because you know what? You know what? If you're not paying him, this is one of the cons of working with the big companies. They don't pay that well. A lot of the big companies don't pay that well. They have a base minimum of, like, some of them got a minimum of, I think, $12.50 a week or something like that. And $12.50 a week is skimming. Gross $12.50 a week. If you got a wife and kids, you know, for a family of 6 people, it's going to be tight for you to, it could be very, very tight, or depending on where you live at, it could be pretty tight for you to live off of that. That's like $5,000 a month. And off of $5 grand a month, the average family of 6, you're going to be pinching. It's going to be very, very tight. If you blow a tire, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in trouble. You know what I'm saying? You know, so especially if you guys renting a house and then you got the, you know, don't have no car notes and all that stuff. I don't do the car note thing. I try to buy everything cash if I can. You know what I'm saying? But if you got other expenses other than that, the rent, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be in, you might be in a little bit of trouble at $5,000 a month. $4,000 a month, you probably barely can make it at $4,000 a month. That's $1,000 a week. Okay? And that's what a lot of guys are seeing at some of these bigger companies. Even though the name is United Road, even though it's United Road, even though it's Hanson and Atkins, even though it's Carvana, even though it's CarMax, they have, you got to remember, they do things on a big scale. So they can't, when it comes to market sharing, or when it comes to profit sharing, not market sharing, when it comes to profit sharing, they don't want to share the profits with the drivers that much. They might give you good benefits. Some of them give you good benefits. That's how they make up for the money. They compensate for not paying you that well by giving you benefits, a 401k, and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Which is good stuff. It's good stuff. And that's why I said it comes down to the preference of the driver. What do you want? What do you want? Do you want to retire from the company? Do you want to retire from United Road? Do you want to retire from Hanson and Atkins? Do you want to retire from Carvana? Then you can stay in there, stick it out, and get paid less money, but you'll have benefits. You can go to the doctors whenever you want to go to. You just got to make sure you save up your days and take your time off, put your time in advance, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But United Road, every terminal at United Road is different too. Don't confuse what I'm saying and generalize United Road, because every terminal operates a little differently. The terminal I was at, I may have not had the issues I had if I was at a different terminal. Okay? And the operations manager there, he was a nice guy, but he was new. He was new to United Road. He only been there for a few months, and it just wasn't clicking for me. He was a veteran driver, ex-driver. He said he'd been driving over the road for some years, 20 years, or how many of years it was. But when it comes to managing people, that's where his issue was at, in my opinion. His people managing skills wasn't that great. It wasn't that great, because I shouldn't feel like you getting on my nerves. When I start feeling like you getting on my nerves as an ops manager, your people managing skills is jacked up. You need to go back to school and get some more knowledge about how to manage people. You understand? Especially car haulers, because one thing for sure, 2 things for certain. One person that you don't have to babysit in trucking is a car hauler. Car haulers don't get you don't babysit car haulers. In trucking, you shouldn't have to babysit no truck driver. You shouldn't have to babysit no truck driver. But when it comes to car haulers, car haulers are very, very mature, very, very mature truck drivers. I will say that. I want to say that. Very mature, I guess I can put it that way. Very mature drivers, transporters. I'm not even going to say truck driver. I can say truck driver, but we say transport. We don't even call ourselves truck drivers. We call ourselves transporters. We don't say I'm a truck. We say I'm a transporter, right? You know what I'm saying? So, which puts you a level above an average truck driver. As a car hauler, it puts you a level above an actual, and I don't mean that in an arrogant way. It's just It's just, that's what the veterans, many veterans, you know, that's how they view it. That's how we view ourselves. You're a car hauler now. You're a transporter now. You're not just a regular truck driver. Because a lot of regular truck drivers can't do what we do. They don't want to do what we do. I talk to them all the time. I say, man, I tried that. I can't do all that. It's too much. It's too much work. Driving the cars up and down that ramp, that's too much work. This, that, and the third, it's too much work. So that's why transporters get the big bucks. That's why transporters get the big bucks, okay? So, and of course it fluctuates. It's not always big bucks. Sometimes it's little bucks, you know, but on average, car haulers are going to make more than the average truck driver, than the average driver that works for somebody like, you know, I don't know, for Hub Group or something like that, you know, maybe US Food or Cisco or one of these other trucking companies that pay pretty good or whatever, you know, definitely better than JB Hunt and all them other guys. If you're a company driver working for Swift and all that, all them other companies, them guys, some of them guys getting paid $600 a week and they over the road, you know? So anyway, once again, this video was about the difference between the pros and cons, or the difference between working for an owner operator, or which is like West Carriers, or working for a major company like Hanson and Atkins or United Road. The pros and cons, like I said again, it all depends on your preference. I don't really, you know, push anyone either way. It's up to you. It depends on what your situation is. Okay, I think both of them have good and both of them have bad. So it's up to you to figure out what's going to work for you and your family. All right. So anyway, this video was way too long. It's the Rookie Car Hauler. I'm still a rookie, you know, so I'm going to do a lot of rookie stuff. But until then, I'll see you on the next one. All right. Take it easy.